Okay, this is the original skate sharpener by Sid. It was called the Iceskate Sharpener, and it's before the Incredible Edger. And I'm going to measure the pulley ratio a little bit later here, but I just want to show an overview. This particular model has one bar at the bottom, like this. So there's one bar at the bottom, and of that bar there, the skate holder looks like this really big gizmo like this. So what it does is it has a set of rollers on the bottom here that rub on that one particular bar like this, and that goes back and forth. And so the skate holder has, this is the clamp like this, and this works really well. It just has a little bit of a crosshair because if you do this back and forth with the skate here, you get a little bit of a whoop-de-doo in the skate. So there's a secondary error on this when you're cutting and going. If the blade was completely straight, there would be no error. But if you go through here and you go inboard, there's a slight error because this is tilting back and forth. And so if you use a blade angle tester or his square, there's an error this way on it. So that's why he redesigned the machine to have two bars. So this is a good machine. You just have to be aware of the geometry on this thing. And supposedly it uses the same motor, same gear ratio and everything, but I'm going to measure that as soon as I move the machine. Move the camera up here closer. So this has got the dust guard when you're going through and sharpening. And I believe it's got a little bit better, the snout on here. On this older machine, it comes through the bottom vacuum through here. And a newer machine, it comes on the side, so the guard's slightly different. But it's got the same gizmo here to dress the wheel. And so for clarity, if you got a pair of skates on here, and this blade was completely, had no rocker from the side view, you'd have no error. So you might get a slight error from here to here this way. And I've actually only used this machine a few times. I got it secondary. It doesn't sound like the greatest. The motor on it here, let me give it a go. Sounds a little bit raspy. I don't know if it's the motor bearings. I gotta make sure we got some power here. I'll plug it in here, see if I can get it to go. Sounds like it's more the motor bearing. Not sure. Top of this off here and go through and show you what the pulley ratio is. This particular unit I bought years ago, and the rod on it looks like it's got better days. I've gone through and sanded it down and got a lot of the rust off of it. And I need to set up a proper setup for that. And that's the original machine he made from 1977. Okay, real quickly, I'm going to see if I can take this apart. Not make this too boring. We take this off. Pull out this pin. Set this aside. There's the, so this is different right on here, I believe. I believe it might be different, I'm not sure. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and measure the pulley ratio real quick. I'm going to put a mark here and here. I'm going to put a mark here and here. And we're going to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Look at that. About 3.5, maybe 3.7. So is this different? Okay, one more time. Is the belt tight? The belt is tight. That's 1, 2, 3, 3.5. That's about, say, 3.7. And that's with a 60 hertz motor. So we got a 60 hertz motor, 3.5, 3.75. That would be 3.5, 3.75. So it's 3.6 something. A little bit different than the other machine. So I don't know if he changed the design. So there's the motor. 1/3 of a horsepower. And that spec 84 probably means 1984 is my guess right there. And it was probably built in 86, the serial number. 1700 RPM, 115 volts, 8.5 amps. And this particular part looks like it's changed here. There's a vacuum port from the bottom. This is on the original edger machine. It's got this long piece like this. This is where the rod goes. So it's got this whole casting on the bottom of that. Okay, the original machine here, it's got a different vacuum port. I think it's got the same spindle motor. And has this big casting on the bottom like that, where the guide rod goes into here. It's just one single guide rod is a redeeming feature. Okay, there's the motor again. And it's got the same top piece here. Now, these have got a different length. There's a number printed on there, which is the dimension from this edge to the diamond. When you reorder these, that's a 0.55. I think my other machine's got a 0.42 on it, I think, but this is a 0.55, which means from this edge to the diamond is 5.5 inches, and that's to make this scale here read correct. And I gotta put all that stuff back before I lose it. But this guy, let me plug it in again. Hear this thing make some noise. Okay, ready? Like the vibration from up there. What I should do is I should really run this really run it without the belt, so I can separate the variables. Just run the motor without the belt to see if it's the bearing in that. But rather interesting on here. And this blade was completely had no rocker from the side view. You'd have no error. So you might get a slight error from here to here this way.